Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the Live on Deck show from the Mutiny Crew. I am Ash, otherwise known as Axcess, the host of the show. Tonight, I am joined by Kirsty.
Hi.
I'm joined by Dark.
Hello.
And a guy whose name I cannot remember how to pronounce properly, but it's Symbiote, and also known as Lee.
Symbiote. Hey, how you doing?
How are we all?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Right, so this week I've taken the reins as the host. Going forward, I think that's generally going to be a thing for the time being, at least. So we're going to sort of open up basically exactly the same as we did last week. Last week we discussed Cyberpunk to start with. Originally, obviously, last week we discussed the upcoming Cyberpunk. Since then, the game has released to very mixed reviews, let's just say that for now. Out of all of you, I think, Lee, I know you've got it, haven't you?
Yeah.
Have the other two of you got it yet?
No, I haven't got it yet. I've just been reading up on it so far.
And do you
it.
plan to get it?
No.
No.
I'm thinking about getting it, but I think I might have to wait until I upgrade to Series X because I don't think it's going to play great at the moment.
Potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
From
Lee,
what I've been hearing.
Sorry, carry on.
From what I've been hearing so far, it's the PS4 and Xbox X and sort of standard edition versions haven't been playing very well.
No, not really at all. From what I mean, obviously I've been looking up. I've got it on Series X, so for me, touch wood, I've not really had any issues. It's been quite a good game for me. But how's your experience been of it, Lee?
Mine's the same as yours, to be honest. I'm using the Series X, and I've had little problems here and there. I would say I get a couple of crashes every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're experiencing that as well.
Yes, a couple of times.
Like the game comes back. Other than that, it's just little bugs that you expect out of an RPG this early into launch.
Yeah.
So I can't really complain. But from what I've seen online and that of like base consoles, PS4 and Xbox One and stuff, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, there's been. I think
it's pretty bad.
The visuals alone are awful on Xbox One and PS4.
Yeah.
The sort of textures loading and everything are absolutely horrific.
It is bad.
Obviously, it's become sort of almost a meme of itself now, hasn't it? With the internet's just covered in different pictures of Keanu Reeves with no face and stuff like that. It's
PS100.
Yeah. Another thing that obviously they did come up with, thanks to a Twitter user that sort of called them out on it, was the severe issues with epilepsy in one of the elements of the game. I can't remember the name of it. Yes, that's it, Brain Dance. Basically, this Twitter user, she called them out and said basically she played it and the Brain Dance sequence caused her to have an epileptic fit. There was no warning of such thing during that part of the game, and so they've actually addressed it now, haven't they? They've released a hotfix for it to improve the quality of it, to reduce the chances of epilepsy, and there's more warnings than that into the game. So
yeah, I did notice that, to be fair, when they were on about that. The Brain Dance has flashing red and white lights, and it's pretty intense for someone that doesn't even have epilepsy. But I can understand where they're coming from for that. But I've seen them put that hot fix out yesterday, and it's just literally before this podcast. It just went live on Xbox.
Oh, did it actually? Because originally I heard that they said it was just coming soon to Xbox. It's actually come out now.
That's what they said. That's what they said last night. It said coming soon, but they've literally just put on Twitter about 20 minutes ago that it's now live on Xbox.
There we go. Breaking news over on Live on Deck. If you've got it on Xbox, get the patch updated. So, obviously, Cyberpunk's had a mixed week. On the week that obviously the Game Awards was out, did any of you guys watch the Game Awards?
I did.
I did not.
Did you not?
No. Maybe nocturnal self.
I feel like the worst gamer in the world over here. Like,
I stayed up and watched them.
Buffy just put, didn't Half-Life 2 garner similar feedback when that first came out, retexture loading, etc. I'm not too sure. Did any of you play Half-Life 2?
It's not my
a very long time ago, yeah.
I know people are still.
I don't remember about the textures on it though. There's a bot in the chat. Axcess.
Yeah, I know. I've not got my thingy set up though. Just ignore it for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously at the Game Awards we did have a few different things. Are we all Xbox?
Yeah.
Well, Xbox and PC, yeah.
Xbox PC.
Yeah.
Obviously a couple of things that did get announced at the Game Awards that was quite good. Coming to Xbox Game Pass on the 15th of December, we've got Skyrim, which 3rd generation, just like GTA.
Yeah.
And we're also getting the whole previous package of Yakuza games coming, so that's quite a lot of content there coming that should be good. What do you guys think in terms of, like, you know, the additions that have come in? Kirsty, what would you say? Obviously, we've got Skyrim. Have you ever played it before, Skyrim?
Nope.
Nope. Do you reckon now that do you have Game Pass?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon you may be inclined to try it this time? Now it's free.
No.
No.
Like, just that kind of game just doesn't intrigue me. I'm more like a first-person shooter, you know.
Yeah.
All that kind, you know, them kind of games.
Yeah,
just
a lot of
don't
the stuff,
intrigue
obviously, a
me.
lot of the stuff you stream and that is, you've got your Call of Duty and everything, haven't you? So
Yeah.
that's more your sort of genre. Dark, do you reckon you'll give it another bash?
I might play through Skyrim again, yeah.
Yeah. And what do you reckon, Lee? Skyrim, Yakuza?
I've never played Yakuza. I've never played any of them, but I've heard good things about Like a Dragon. As for Skyrim, I played it a little bit here and there on 360 when it come out on the Xbox One, but I've always been Fallout, and I know it's obviously two totally different types of games, but they feel quite similar. Obviously, both being Bethesda.
Yeah.
But I've always been Fallout over Skyrim, and Witcher as well. Like I know it was a bit earlier, but I was always more Witcher in the fantasy stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, I mean, it's one of those. Somebody said on a podcast or something I was listening to the other day or a stream that I've had Skyrim now on Xbox 360, Xbox One. I brought them on hard copy on both. I had a 6-month switch over to the PlayStation 4, which I brought it digitally on PlayStation 4, sold the PlayStation 4, and now potentially going to reinstall it again on the Series X.
Same issue with Borderlands. That's
Yeah.
me. I bought Borderlands on every single thing. I even have it on Mac. That's how I've got it on everything.
And another one that did come out through Xbox Game Pass coming to the PC edition is Among Us, which, if none of you have ever played it before, now's your chance for free on PC.
I do love Game Pass. There's like so many good things about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's a new game just come out today, I think, called Greedfall, which I was looking at on Steam.
Yeah.
I almost bought that on Steam a couple of days ago, and now it's free on Game Pass. So
it's just that no risk satisfaction in it that you could download it, and if it's awful, you could say, "Well, I saved myself, 20 quid from."
I have installed it. I have, but I haven't tried it yet. I'm trying not to start any new games yet until I finish some.
Yeah, I think the back catalog's building up a bit.
If I've just finished, I played and finished a game on Wednesday that came out, Call of the Sea. What come out on Game Pass?
I've just finished chapter. I think I've finished chapter 5. I think I've got like 2 left.
Are you enjoying it?
I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, maybe played it through on Wednesday in like one sitting to get it out of the way, like a Cyberpunk, and it was just obviously just coming on the Game Pass for I would say free at this point.
Yeah,
because what you're paying for any edition at the minute,
the $10.99 basically covers your Xbox Live, doesn't it? It's all the stuff that comes with it.
Xbox Live, all these games. You even get cloud gaming included now as well, so you can literally play on your phone anywhere you are.
There was supposed to be introducing as well, wasn't it? That every more or less every game would be on Game Pass for free, wasn't it?
Every Xbox Game Studio title going forward is going to be free at
anything
launch.
That's an in-house title.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
There's a lot of titles. Yeah, there's a lot of Xbox exclusive titles, and especially with the Bethesda thing as well.
Well, in the last couple of years at E3s when they've announced studio after studio after studio that's been added to this portfolio, and we've not really had anything from almost any of them yet. So, you know, either this, like, you know, 2021 at E3 or 2022, there's going to be a point where Xbox go, we've got 15 new titles to show here, and it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing when that day comes.
It's going to be chaos, especially with starting Perfect Dark the other day, which is massive. So having Perfect Dark come back to...
Yeah, I saw that. Was it today or something? Is that meant to be coming out soon?
Which one?
I think they just started development.
Yeah, they've said they've not got much
to
show.
It's coming back to it's coming to PC and Xbox, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one that's coming back to. It's going to be. I think it's another one that's going to launch on Game Pass.
I did really enjoy Perfect Dark the first time round. I can't remember what console was it even on. Was it not on Nintendo?
I think it was like the original, wasn't it?
Was it not on
no, it was 64. I think it was on the 64.
Yeah, it was the N64. Wow. Yeah, it came just after GoldenEye. I think it was like the first big multiplayer thing they brought out after GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Perfect Dark.
Yeah. Did any of you catch anything about Ark 2 from the
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, Vin Diesel. It was the trailer was like something out of a movie. It was incredible. Vin Diesel leads the trailer, and it was funny actually because I was watching it with a couple of me Xbox friends, and while we were watching it, we were trying to guess what it could be. You know, all these different games have passed. And I went, this is the sort of thing that Ark do. They release this cinematic trailer, and the game is nothing like it. And we went through the whole thing, and then at the end it finishes and it comes up Ark 2, and I went, well, there we go. Let's just hope the game looks even remotely like that.
Yeah, which it would.
Yeah, potentially.
Ark on a next-gen system, though, is very interesting.
If they've done it right, it could be very good.
It could look very, very nice.
It's one thing I've never played.
I sort of gave up with it.
It took me a while to get into. I played Ark a couple of times and didn't understand it at all at first. Really didn't get on with it. Didn't have a clue what was going on. Really didn't enjoy it. Vowed to never play it again. And then got into it with a couple of people who kind of knew what they were doing, and started to see why people like enjoyed it so much and what it had to offer. But the first, like, going in blind as a new player, you're just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, I couldn't even figure out how to get into a game with all the servers and stuff popping up. I was like, how do I even start the game? Like, where's just start? Where's go?
It bugged me. One of the things.
That a lot. Like, see a lot of games now, it's so difficult just to find like a start game button.
Yeah.
It's you have to go into this wee hut and you have to go through this door, and you're just like, please.
If it's a game with a lot of big servers, like one of those, even DayZ, like one of those games, you've got to pick servers to get in. Like, that can be confusing if you've never done it. Like, if it's a new kind of thing, it's like, what's going on? I don't understand.
It's like a whole new world, isn't it?
Yeah.
Extract in the chat, he's just put watching versus playing Ark is completely different experience, which he couldn't be any more right. I think, like I say, I've played it, and it's like I get frustrated with it, and I mean, I ain't played it for years now, but I know that originally, if you went into somebody's world, you could only go so many meters away from them before it sort of locked you onto them. You couldn't get any further away from them than that. And it was like, so if I wanted to go halfway across the island and build on my own, I can't do it. I was like, nah, I'm out.
When I played it, it was completely open. You could go
really?
Go anywhere. Yeah, your teams.
Oh, Smoke's just been saying in the chat that was on a private lobby. So on the official servers, you can actually go off anywhere. Oh, there we go.
I played it a lot on a modded server with a couple of people, which was that modded servers do make it like a completely different game.
Yeah.
See, to be honest, though, see any game, like, see, because the next gen consoles are out, any game that isn't up to par in terms of graphic wise just doesn't have an excuse anymore. You know, like, if your game looks shit, like, you can't blame it on, oh, well, it's because it's an old console. You know, it's a next gen console. Like, to me, graphics are now going to have to be up to scratch with the consoles, you know.
I think that's something that potentially I suppose you can't really use it as an excuse, but like with Cyberpunk, the edition that me and Lee have got is actually the 360, and not the 360, bloody hell, the Xbox One edition. We haven't actually got a Series X and PS5 edition of that yet. That's coming at some point next year.
Early next year,
So we're still playing on a non-optimized edition.
It's not actually running the next gen graphics on the
No.
Series X yet either.
No,
Nope.
it's running
See, to be
better
honest, like, see
on
the
the next gen.
graphics that Cyberpunk have put forward, even
It's-
if it is just on the standard like Xbox, it is incredible. Like the
it's-
graphics of it are amazing.
Should have got it
Well,
on PC.
I've had no
instead.
issues. I've had no issues graphics wise. The graphics for me are just like I haven't
Mind-blowing.
even fast travelled in this game yet because I'm just like driving around like blown away by the graphics and stuff. So
I actually
I'm
did.
having no experience on it.
I did 10-15 minutes yesterday of I'd finished a mission. I just walked to the next mission because it was something like 1,500 meters or whatever it is. I thought I'm just going to walk, and I just walked through the city. But then I stumbled across some group that were battering another group. So then they turn around and pay their attention on you, and it's like shit, run. And
That's what's crazy about it. The NPCs in the game, the longer you stand with them, the more things they do.
Yeah.
Like, so I seen like two people standing in a queue and started arguing and stuff, and this went on for like a good 5 minutes until one of them pulled a gun out and shot him. And I was like, I've just been stood watching these two people argue for this long, while like every other person in the city's just getting on with day-to-day life. And I'm seeing on Twitter and stuff, people saying that there's like the city's dead and there's nothing going on, and I don't know what is happening because in mine it's just full of people.
Full of stuff to see and do. I mean, we are lucky. Obviously, we've got it on the Series X edition. I've seen, like we've said, there's a lot of people that have been completely ripped off so far.
Yeah.
But if you get in an edition like we are at the minute, God, there's some great stuff going on in the game. Just random activities and events and that.
Plus DLC's
coming for the graphics, I think, soon.
Is there?
Yeah, there will
it
be.
Needs fixing, definitely.
To be fair, to get a hotfix out yesterday that quick and the size of the hotfix is fair play. To be fair, in like a day, so because there was a lot of stuff included in that hotfix.
Yeah.
But also announced that DLC is coming in early 2021 and it's for free as well.
Oh, that's good then. So moving on from all of that so far, obviously something that I know Kirsty and Dark can definitely get a bit more involved in. Call of Duty Cold War.
No, see, I can't get involved in that either because I haven't played it.
Oh wow!
Come on, Kirsty.
Someone buy Kirsty.
Yeah. Can we get some sort of
get a Santa going? Let's get Cold War for Kirsty.
Cold War Kirsty.
See, to be honest though, I don't want it.
Oh,
and that's the God honest truth. I just don't like the game at all from what I've seen. I
was very skeptical after playing the beta. I mean, like usually, like with Modern Warfare, I loved the beta, and the game when it first came out was really, really good. Black Ops hated the beta; it really didn't play well. And then multiplayer came out, and I just instantly kind of fell in love with it. I've been playing it really like a lot.
I did in
my opinion, it plays very well.
Yeah, I did the usual. Obviously, I played the beta. I always try and get hold of the beta if I can. And this year was one like, nope. It's awful. I'm not touching it. I'm not going to go near it, blah, blah, blah. But as usual, I brought the game on launch, and I think the multiplayer is fine. We've got Smoke in the chat. Multiplayer is fucking shit.
Yeah, I agree with Smoke. I think,
it's because it's faster paced.
Yeah.
It's a lot quicker. It's a lot faster paced than Modern Warfare.
Yeah, but it's just, to me, they're charging people £60 to play zombies. That's it. That's why everybody is buying that game, to play zombies. Nobody's buying it because the multiplayer shit and the campaign shit. So,
the campaign's not bad either. Actually, I thought the campaign was alright.
I've not touched the campaign yet.
It's not a huge campaign. I mean, I did it in a day. I had a day off work, and I just sat and I just did it.
Say they've sort of. I think Mumble last week said it got to the end, and he was like, "Is that it?" Like it was good, but.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't do the side missions either, it's even shorter. But I mean, most people probably did them. I mean, I did, and I know most other people did. But
Bax just asked a very important question in the chat, by the way.
Go on.
Christmas jumper. Who's done it better, Kirsty or Dark?
What's on Kirsty's?
Kirsty started it. I wasn't wearing one originally.
We need a better look at the patterns.
No,
Kirsty started it. I wasn't actually going to wear mine at all, but.
I'm going to go with Dog.
Ren.
Votes in the chat, guys.
but because Kirsty hasn't seen Stranger Things, so I think it's absolutely shocking that she gets to wear
Stop
it.
trying to pull me like.
I'm just putting it out there. It's just false.
Steph says the
Stranger
Kirsty's
Things
jumper is more
changes things.
subtle. Beck says that the Stranger Things changes things.
Yeah, I
There
can
you go.
name one person with Stranger Things.
Not when she
I
hasn't seen it.
almost
Kirsty has wood in the background.
So yeah, Call of
Yeah,
Duty
Zombies
Cold
is
War.
amazing. Smoke.
So yeah, obviously we've had what's been going on so far with the game. You know, we've not quite had this massive merge yet. Obviously, season 1 comes out on the 16th, which is when's that? Wednesday.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Warzone with Cold War weaponry could be interesting to see.
yeah. Obviously, we've
Be
got
fun to
the
have some new
merge of
guns in there.
Warzone, which
This
will be
is when
very
they're
interesting.
merging Warzone with Cold War, isn't it?
Say
On
again?
Wednesday. They're merging
No.
Cold War with Warzone on Wednesday, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they're doing the season pass or the battle pass is going to be you're going to level up across all 3 games. So it's like Modern Warfare, Cold War, and Warzone. You're going to have like a universal season pass, so all the unlocks, weapons, operators will be usable amongst all 3 games.
That's good.
And I think
Are they changing the map in Warzone now? To
yes.
fit with the Cold War aspect, yeah?
I don't know what are they doing. I don't know if they're doing a totally new map or whether it's going to be like if they're like redoing the map or whether Verdansk will still be there and they'll have a second map.
I think
Yeah,
it's a second map.
Yeah, I've heard that as well because
Yeah.
Rebirth Island is like I think it's like a separate game mode. So it's like I think it might be like a mini royale or something because it's not actually that big.
Yeah.
But I heard the other day because I thought that was going to be the new Warzone map, but then I heard that was just going to be a game mode and Verdansk was going to stay as the main map. So we'll see if they change anything because I don't even think they've put an update out on what they're changing within it, have they?
No, I think there's going to obviously.
Steph Meister. That's more of a Fortnite thing.
Yeah, Fortnite's definitely becoming that platform for that.
You get
nowadays.
called a lot of things by a lot of 12-year-olds in that game.
I used to be one
None
of
of
them
which can be
12-year-olds.
repeated on a stream.
Yeah. Be a lot of blurring out there. Buffy, it's bollocks doing premium season passes for weaponry. It's a crap aspect of modern gaming. Don't mind paying for more maps and modes, but weapons, etc. Bah.
Yeah,
So to
it's
be
a bit
honest,
tight.
like,
It is
I'm
a bit
listening.
tight how they put weapons on the season passes.
Yeah. I think the two
Like,
main.
I do agree with that. I think it's a bit shitty. I mean, cosmetics and stuff, fair enough, but not being able to get a weapon because you don't have the battle pass is a bit shit.
I
So
thought
they're
that,
not doing like the free ones, like
I was
they
going
did
to
on
say,
Modern
aren't the
Warfare.
2 new maps, 2 new weapons usually free, level 15 and 30?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah. I think there was a couple of seasons, I think, on
Well, it comes up as a free bundle.
Warzone or on Modern Warfare where you were getting like, did you not get a weapon for hitting season 100? Was there not a couple,
Maybe.
or was it just?
Or was it not just one of
It
the
I can't remember if
was
it was
skins,
a blueprint or whether it was a
things?
full-on weapon unlock.
It was normally blueprints. Guns were normally like at levels, so you normally they brought like 2 guns a season, and you
They're
would get
usually
them
free
you'd
in
get
the
them
free
for free
tiers.
within the free tiers. Yeah.
I think the
So-
only good thing with these battle passes is it brings a lot of content for your efforts. You know, for almost every level you unlock something, which, you know, previously you'd pay your 14, 15 quid every 3 months for, 3
If
or
you're
4
smart
new
enough
maps.
for your COD points, you're getting free battle passes anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I
with
think that's like
Fortnite, they did the
a
same.
tribute, though. I've never ever bought a battle pass, right? I play Warzone near enough every single day, right, from its came out, and I've never once bought a battle pass. So I see, in my eyes, battle passes are literally like a pay to win because here many times I've been killed by a gun that someone has got from the battle pass, which is far more superior than a gun I could got because I'm not paying for it. You know, that type of thing. It is a pay to win kind of scheme, but I think some of the battle passes they do are good because you're getting like a variety. You know, you're not just getting your guns and stuff. You know, you're getting like blueprints, you're getting skins, you're getting stickers,
Yeah.
wallpapers, crap. You know, but I don't like. Stop giving people money. Stop giving these companies your money. Just stop it.
I mean, most of the blueprints you're only paying for the weapon skin anyway because you can build the gun
Yeah.
yourself.
Level your weapon up enough and you'll be able to build that gun without the actual blueprint.
You just don't get the skin.
Stupid purple bullets and shit.
Oh, the
Ah, that
tracer,
doesn't
the
make
tracer
sense,
bullets
though.
and
I
stuff.
just
Yeah,
can't
those
bring myself
tracer
to
bullets
spend.
are just annoying.
See, I like the
But they
tracer
don't.
bullets, but I can't bring myself to spend 20 quid to get some.
I did it once,
Yeah.
the MP5, and that was it.
Yeah.
MP5, and
Yeah,
that
because
was
it's not even like you can apply it to all the weapons. It's only for one
Yeah.
gun. It's like
If you had the
I thought
ability just to unlock purple, red, green bullets, that's fine. But it's not
Yeah,
unless you unlock it on one gun.
limiting it to a weapon is a bit like tight because then you've got to buy different ones for every gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to unlock them. That would be much better.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
at least they've got a free option there for things anyway on battle passes, like all of these companies anyway. I know Fortnite's just brought out like a monthly payment plan. Have you seen
Yes, yeah. I've
that?
seen.
Where you get like you pay monthly and you get like new skins and stuff that only you can get if you pay
Yeah.
monthly. And
It is like a proper
things like that.
subscription
I do
service.
prefer this to having to pay for like DLC every fucking quarter or whatever it was to get new maps and new fucking all this.
I mean, I
back in the
think
day.
Free content's much better.
yeah. I mean, obviously Ubisoft were a big starter in this free content that they brought in, weren't they? Obviously, they announced quite a while ago with things like Rainbow Six Siege, like 5 years ago now, whatever it was, that we'd be doing
2015.
periodically free maps, free operators that you can either buy or earn.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of studios have realised, as of Activision, that's the way forward. We'll give you the maps for free,
Mhm.
and there's
Can I
other
just point
ways.
something out to Buffy? So
Yeah.
he just said that Fortnite is a freemium, of course, and COD is not. Warzone is actually a free game. You don't need to have the game to play Warzone. So
Yeah.
See, that was the same. Like,
Fortnite and Warzone are both
see,
free
that's like
games.
Fortnite BR isn't even the actual Fortnite game. Fortnite
Yeah.
does actually have a proper mode.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the BR was never meant to be a thing. It was just a side note, which kind of happened, and the popularity of it just kind of
Yeah.
took it away.
They basically
But there is a whole other game to Fortnite that people barely even know about.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Buffy. It wasn't in an evil way. It was just, sorry.
It's called Fortnite Save the World, isn't it?
Yeah, I
original
actually
game.
quite liked Save the World. I played it for a little while.
Yeah.
I tried it. I wasn't big into it.
I wasn't willing to sort of pay for it, but I think Fortnite, like Epic, obviously acted on the success of PUBG, didn't they? And thought, we can compete.
The funny thing is, for a long time as well, Epic did it better because Fortnite actually worked on console, whereas PUBG's been broken as shit for years.
PUBG launched
that was the thing. I
horrifically.
remember PUBG was 2017. It was out on PC, and I was so excited to play it because I'd never played a battle royale game, and Fortnite dropped one day, like out of the blue, like the battle royale mode, and I was like, oh, I'll play it and I'll give it a go to see if it's any good. And for like 8 to 10 months straight, I was just never off this game.
Yeah.
Like my girlfriend was saying that I was like sleep talking about it and everything. And so honest, I was addicted to it.
Yeah, when Fortnite first came out, me and a group of my friends, we got right into it, and it was the only thing I played for about 8 months until Black Ops 4 came out, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't even get that. So I was Fortnite all the time until I can't remember what stopped us, but
I just remember, for me originally, obviously I was desperate to get PUBG on Xbox.
Yeah.
And I saw Fortnite as like a little gap filler, but then PUBG arrived and it was so bad on Xbox
it's terrible
that I spent it, and I think I've probably played 10 games on it in its life that I've had it.
Yeah, same.
It plays a lot better now. I had to get a couple of games the other day with a few of the boys because a couple of my mates have stuck with it like the whole way through since it first came out. They've been like addicted to it, and they were like, "Oh, PUBG's great," and I'm like, "It needs to be fixed. I just can't handle it. I just couldn't deal with it. I hated it."
Think there'll be any more big battle royales coming soon? I know Halo might be having one, but
they've addressed that and said no. They've said Halo.
Oh, they said no.
Yeah, they've said.
Anybody play a lot? What was the Battlefield one? Firestorm or something?
Something
Fire Team?
Like that, yeah. I didn't actually
play that. I do like Battlefield, but I never played that.
Yeah, I think it's called Firestorm or something, because it's sort of the.
I think Battlefield messed up because they released the game and then the Battle Royale came out like 4 months later, by which point nobody really cared.
Yeah.
But if you track back, Warzone didn't launch with Modern Warfare until the March.
March, yeah.
Because I remember I was in New York when it dropped, and I was like, I can't believe it's took this long for them to bring out.
Blackout had quite a big following before, though. So I mean,
that's a good point. Yeah. Obviously,
I
people
think the
knew.
only drop Warzone because of the whole pandemic crisis. I think it was their way. They knew everybody was in the house, everybody was bored, and it was kind of like here.
It was
Did
definitely a
Warzone
good
just come out
timing.
just then?
You were?
Was that when it came out in
Yeah,
March?
Warzone
Like,
came out at the start of the pandemic. Yeah.
It's only been out 9 months. That
Jesus.
Warzone.
In my head, I've been playing that for years. Like, and that's
I
how
know,
it
it feels
feels.
like it's been out a lot longer, doesn't it?
And
Yes.
it took me up until something like August to get my first win on it. That's how long I was
Really?
convinced I was never going to get a win on Warzone.
July and August,
Axcess,
I was
did
doing
you just say that
WA.
he is infamous for getting wins on Warzone? He used to do a double day. That's what he used to stream. Every day he got a win on Warzone.
Through the summer.
Yep.
Yeah. Good times,
It is.
good times.
Me and my brother and our friend Tom, he all three of us, we sort of said, for us, Warzone is our memory of lockdown. You know, that's what we played just about every night. It was just Warzone.
Yeah, I didn't have that for so March till July. I was living at my girlfriend's, and she's got the worst internet in the world, terrible. I couldn't even play it, and I remember just being stressed a bit. So my game memory was Assassin's Creed Odyssey because it was £12 on the store, and I hammered that through lockdown. Hammered it.
I think Warzone saved a lot of people during the pandemic. I really do.
Oh yeah.
I was 9 months pregnant playing it because it was the only thing I could do to get my mind off everything. You know, it was, to me, it's when everybody looks back at this pandemic, the first thing that's going to come into their head is Warzone.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, for me, that was the main thing. That was pretty much the only thing I played through lockdown.
I actually find it emotional that they're changing the map because it's the map that we have all grown to know and love. It's just really emotional that now that it's going, you know, that type of thing.
I don't think it is, Kirsty. I think it's staying. I think it's
I know, but they're improving it. And it's kind of no, just leave it be shit. Leave it.
Happens every time, though, doesn't it? People I remember there was a time in Fortnite's lifespan where people were like, "Oh, we need a new map," and now all I see on Twitter on every Fortnite thing that they post is bring this back, this back, or the meme of boys only want one thing, and it's disgusting, and it's the picture of the old Fortnite map, and I'm like, you asked for this new stuff.
Yeah.
So
just do what they do on PUBG and just have multiple maps. I mean, PUBG has fucking 6 maps or something now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should definitely just put them on some sort of so you can just get into a different one randomly every time.
No, it shouldn't be that difficult to do, really. I mean, Boff has just said fanboys never know what they actually want, and that's the problem nowadays more than ever with social media and that game developers don't. Yeah. They're never going to win because you do the changes for the fans.
They used to do it on Blackout, didn't they? They used to have a nuke. What was the map?
I never actually played Blackout, which is weird.
Gulag. The Gulag. Not Gulag. Prison something. What was it? The Gulag. Alcatraz. They brought out an Alcatraz map, sort of as a side note for a while.
And they just sort of alternated, did they?
You gone?
I think so.
A prime example of fanboys not knowing what they want is actually the COD franchise. It was constantly boots on the ground, and then it was no, we want to fly. And then they were well, right, fly. And then they're no, we want boots on the ground. And then it was oh no, we want to walk up walls. And they were well, here, you can walk up walls. And they were no, we want boots on the ground again. And you're just oh my God.
But that was World War II's fault, because I remember they came back after, I don't know how many years it was of futuristic Call of Duties. And World War II come, and they were oh, boots on the ground. And everyone was oh, I can't wait for this. And it was quite crap.
Yeah.
So it was and the wall running was fucking terrible, though. I mean,
exactly. I stopped playing. Modern Warfare 3 was my last Call of Duty that I played fully until Modern Warfare came out. I literally skipped all of them years. So
I've played
Modern Warfare. I think was the best the best Call of Duty game they'd brought out probably since the original Modern Warfare. I mean, the ones in between have been pretty lackluster.
My Modern Warfare 2 will always be my greatest.
Yeah, I'd like to see, even if we don't get a complete Modern Warfare 2 remastered or whatever, I'd like to see a lot of the multiplayer maps somehow, turn up in the future.
But that's the thing. Can you remember when they brought that Call of Duty Modern Warfare remaster out?
Yeah.
I remember, and it came out, I think it was an Advanced Warfare. You had to buy that to get that. And I did because COD 4 was an amazing game, and I remember me and my friends were playing it constantly, and I loved what they did with it, with the weapon boxes and stuff and all that, and the camos that they did. And I'm praying that they do that with Modern Warfare 2 because I loved that remaster.
I think, I mean, people said at the time, and it's sort of, to me, it almost become an apparent thing that it almost felt like they maybe knew that it was Infinite Warfare, weren't it, that it launched with?
Yeah, Infinite. I knew it was one of them.
You look at it and you think that game was that bad. Like, I genuinely think I probably played 5 games online. It was absolutely atrocious. They probably did that knowing full well that they're going to get a lot more sales.
100%.
Put in Modern Warfare with it. You know, they could have released that game separately.
The other day,
I agree, Steph. Titanfall 2 did running very well.
Titanfall
2 runs on a totally different engine, though. Modern Warfare, when they tried to do that shit, it just, I don't know, it just wasn't good for Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But Titanfall and Apex and stuff, like that kind of wall running, it suits the pace of their games with the grappling hooks and stuff, and it's just, it flows very, very well on Titanfall.
Yeah. Titanfall is such an underrated game.
I think it had a bad release time, which kind of hurt it. I think Titanfall 2 possibly got hurt a lot by possibly a Call of Duty, maybe. It might have even been one of the Black Opses.
Yeah. I played Titanfall 1. I think Titanfall 1 came out when the Xbox One came out, didn't it? Like,
it weren't far off, because I remember it come out, I think it come out, was it on PC first or in America first or something? It come out earlier for something before we got it, and I watched a lot of it on Twitch.
Probably PC.
I think it might have been a few weeks earlier on PC or whatever it was, and I just couldn't wait to get my hands on it. And I think the original, because weren't that an exclusive to Xbox and PC? It weren't on PlayStation, the first one, was it?
Could have been.
Think so.
And it went
I remember getting
multi-platform then.
Yeah.
And I think for a game like Titanfall, I think being locked to PC and Xbox alone, when the fan base was so massive that wanted it, it hurt the titles along the line. I think you missed out on a lot of people that would have got it on PlayStation because it was, it was a new thing back then, the original Titanfall.
Yeah.
But
I don't think we'll see Titanfall 3.
I played a lot of Titanfall 2 coming into Twitch, like in sort of the March time when we first, because I was originally Mixer and we transitioned over, and I started playing a lot of Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Rediscovered my love of that game and the multiplayer. The multiplayer is so good.
Well, I remember you saying that when I did sort of when I think it was like the day Mixer launched, I give it a go streaming on there, and I streamed Titanfall 2 because it was around that time that the 2 sort of become a big thing, and
yeah,
it was a great game. It's so underrated.
I really wish they had done a Titanfall 3. I mean, Apex was good. I enjoyed that when it came out as well, but like Fortnite, Apex, like the Battle Royale for Apex could have been a side note to what could have been Titanfall 3.
Yeah, if they didn't have to make it an Apex, they could have just made it Titanfall 3, and then,
Apex Legends could have just been like its own little side note. We could have still done with a nice little Titanfall campaign and a bit of Titan multiplayer.
Some of the Titans.
I don't think we'll see it now with that though.
No, I'd love to see a Titanfall 3. Playing Titanfall 2 just really just kind of, I remembered how good it actually was. It's still good fun to play. It's still really good.
Yeah, and it's available if you want to try it. You can play it through Game Pass through EA Play.
EA Play,
so if you haven't played it, I'd highly recommend Titanfall 2.
You can also pick it up on Steam, I think, for about £3 these days.
There you go.
Absolute bargain.
And that's something, Kirsty, if you've never played it, you would enjoy. It's good. It's worth a try.
First-person shooter, Kirsty.
Yeah, it's an FPS.
With big robots and normal people.
No, it sounds like a good game. I actually might give it a go if it's on the Game Pass.
It's basically Call of Duty with a bit of
story. The campaign's good fun, and the multiplayer is just kind of like Apex.
The thing I liked about the multiplayer Titanfall was they have the AI enemies as well, don't they? You're not just 6v6.
Yeah, there's depending on the mode you play, but like the main multiplayer mode, I can't remember what it's called. It's like there's a mixture of drops and there's like enemy units AI controlled in amongst these drops, so you can like minions, so you can get a lot of minions to build up your boost to get your Titans.
Yeah, and they can count towards like kills and stuff for the team, can't they?
Yeah.
That was a good thing.
I do like that mixture of having like kind of the NPC or the AI controlled enemies as well as the players, because it's a lot. It means there's a bit more going on.
Yeah, it's you play some of these games like a Call of Duty, and you can end up spawning on a bigger map that takes you 15-20 seconds to run across to the action again, only to die.
Yeah, if you can't find anyone.
Whereas on this, everywhere you go, there's always some sort of dropship dropping in with some more AI to shoot, and
That was always my issue with Battlefield games. Like the maps were just so
yeah.
huge, and you'd run around for about 20 minutes, not seeing a single person, and you get sniped from halfway across the map.
Yeah.
Was that you could always respawn back on your squad. So like if your squad was like where all the action was, like once you died, you could just go straight back to them. I love that aspect of Battlefield. I wish that was actually brought through the likes of like your Modern Warfare and stuff.
It is. It's
it would be very
in Cold War, they have combined arms modes, which is very similar to like your kind of Battlefield Conquest, with you've got like your 5 capture points and stuff, and you can spawn in on your squad.
Doctor, I'm not banning it. Just no. Stop telling me. I'm not getting it.
Who wants to put some money on the fact that she buys it by March?
They have started making Call of Duty a lot more like Battlefield in terms of some of the game modes. Like it started with Ground War being like the bigger team modes, and now they're doing like basically their own versions of Conquest and different sort of capture the flaggy things.
Yeah.
They're getting more into big team games.
Lee's GoFundMe page actually buys me. That's the only way I'll get it.
Mumble's just put in the chat with regards to Titanfall 2, he always had a blast playing it solo, which for the most part, I believe I generally played Titanfall on my own because not many of my Xbox friends actually had it. But I loved it. I enjoyed it quite well on solo. And he did say we do need to play some Titanfall as a group, which that's something we could definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got Titanfall. Titanfall 2 is like, it was one of my go-to multiplayers when I'm kind of like got nothing else to play, or if I can't be bothered playing anything else, I know that I'll have a good time just running around.
There we go. This is you're hearing it live on Deck episode 2. Some Titanfall community night coming up soon for the Mutiny Crew. There we go.
It actually sounds like good fun.
I think it would be. I think we'd have a
it'd be
right laugh.
It'd be good fun.
Yeah.
From one futuristic space first-person shooter, let's go on to just a little update on Halo Infinite. Are any of you Halo fans?
Yay! One I can get involved.
Yeah, I used to play a lot of Halo. Like Halo was my first multiplayer love, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lie. Unreal Tournament was my first one on PC.
Yeah.
That was like the birth of the Unreal Engine, which pretty much all games run on these days. Like that Epic Games engine. Which one?
I think it was a very sad
Penguin.
A Penguin.
That was the best one.
My two flashbacks to. Say again,
Quake
sorry.
Was another good one. That's going back.
It was a bad day when they pushed Halo back,
Yeah.
It.
Oh, it's definitely a good play on their part. I've never been really much of a Halo fan. I do want to play through them, which I probably will next year, because I know they've got the Series X upgrade on the whole Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
I will play through them because I am quite excited for Infinite. I played Reach quite a bit when it came out when I was in school.
Yeah.
But when the Xbox, like I never had Xbox when I was growing up. I was PlayStation, so like I was like always playing other things. And then when the 360 dropped, instead of getting Halo, I was more Gears of War multiplayer.
Yeah.
And I loved Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, and that was like my thing. Like I wasn't really a big fan of Halo, but Infinite looks from these new screenshots.
Oh, it looks unreal, doesn't it?
Really good.
Halo 2 and 3 were my Halo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've been Halo since the very beginning. I got the original Halo with my original Xbox, and I played it, 20 years now.
The original Gears trilogy was phenomenal. Like the storyline for Gears 3 was for the Gears trilogy was really, really good fun to play through. Probably one of the best story playthroughs for a trilogy that I've had.
Yeah, I really like 4 and 5 as well. I know people give them a bit of a hate, but Gears 4 and 5 especially.
I really liked Gears
amazing.
5. Yeah, I really liked Gears 5. It was good.
But I remember just getting that 360 the first year, and I got Gears 1 and Forza 2, on it. Like there's like the base games that came with it. And I remember just playing Gears, like, and I was just like, what is going? I think I was like 11 at the time, like 2006, and it was like, this is the
quite
best
a lot
thing
of the horde
I've
mode
ever
as well.
seen. Yeah, horde mode.
Playing split screen with some friends, like in the living room, playing like horde mode and stuff.
Yeah,
I remember for me when Gears, the original one, launched. When I used to like go around my mates a lot, and Gears terrified me. Like, you know, the graphics back them days for Gears 1 was like, it was horrifying seeing these things running at you, and it absolutely terrified me. I've never really, I've played.
It kind of reminds me of the little creepy things from Silent Hill. Those little weird kind of things that used to come at you.
Yeah. See, I've always been a big fan of like horror. I know Gears isn't horror, but like as a kid, you would still find it.
I don't know. I think I'd put
it
it pretty close to a horror.
So it never really bothered me. But I remember, I think it was Gears 2, when there's a mission where you go inside of like a massive worm. I'm pretty sure it's Gears 2. And I remember me and my friend were playing it on co-op, and I was just like, this, you were like cutting through its intestines with your chainsaw and stuff. And I remember just being like, what is this game? Like, this is like the best thing ever. It was amazing.
Did you actually ever play the PT game? I think it was the Silent Hill game. It was like PT called it.
Oh, I feel like I've heard of it. I've never really played Silent Hill. I used to play Fear.
Couple of them. Silent Hill was creepy. Like that was one of those games.
They
like
never released it. Like it was just a trailer that.
Oh yeah. No,
yeah.
I heard about that. No, I think that's been totally scrapped.
Yeah, they're not doing it anymore. But that game was horrifying, but it was brilliant. Like it was just like, I think like it was about maybe an hour, 2 hours gameplay, and oh, it was so good. I was so excited for that game to come out, and it never did. They cancelled it.
A lot of people are waiting on a new Silent Hill game. A lot of people.
See those guys with the triangle heads? The petrify me. Oh God, no.
Just seen that Squadrons is getting an update soon as well.
Yeah.
2 new ships are coming to Squadrons. See, I originally thought they weren't updating Squadrons. They said there was no plans in the works at all to do any updates whatsoever. Now we're getting new fighters and stuff. I was hoping that was going to happen.
I don't think they expected the interest to be quite as high as it really was.
To be fair, I still haven't finished the campaign and I haven't played it in ages, but I'm quite excited to hear that they are at least going to be updating the game and bringing new content out for it.
Is it good, Squadrons? I've never actually.
I quite enjoyed it. Yeah, I mean, like the story mode is pretty decent. You get kind of jump between the 2 different factions throughout the story. It's not like you pick one, but the multiplayer is quite decent. The crossplay is was a bit harsh. I was finding that if you were in a PC heavy lobby, you were just getting completely annihilated.
I would imagine.
Absolutely destroyed. But the flight and stuff is quite good fun. It's I quite enjoyed it. I mean, like Star Wars Battlefront, I like the dogfighting mode was the only one I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
So I quite like Squadrons.
Where it's console against PC. PC always has the advantage.
Oh yeah. 100%.
I think I mean, people argue obviously
to a certain extent, yeah.
Xbox comes up with obviously we've got.
I mean, like I have crossplay on when I'm playing Cold War, and like a lot of people do say, you know, like when there's a PC heavy lobby, everyone gets all worried. But I've not had any huge issues on Cold War with it.
Yeah,
it was a big issue on Warzone. Like it really was. Like
problem on Warzone was the hackers, like the aimbotting and the fucking wall hacks and shit. Like that stuff's ridiculous.
Yeah.
To be on Xbox and to see somebody shooting through a wall to kill you.
Yeah.
Me and my friends had it once. We managed to capture it because we were streaming at the time. So I was just like, right, we're just gonna watch the kill cams because this was a bit suspect. And we were watching this guy like driving on his quad bike, and he like jumped off the quad bike and just like suddenly he's like snapped onto a boy's head like 400 meters away with his fucking no scope GRU rifle. And I'm like, what? I can't even see this guy throwing grenades over hills and like getting kills. And it's like, how does he know where these people are? Like, what's going on? The guy I think he ended up finishing with like 45 kills. It was like, this is like, what the fuck?
I just don't get the enjoyment in it either.
No, like there's no skill. You're just like I don't understand why these people do that.
The computer is doing it all for you. I just don't.
What enjoyment are you getting out of just like snapping straight onto people and like?
Yeah.
Crazy, absolutely crazy.
So just wrapping up that bit. Carry on, Kirsty.
No, it's okay.
I was just going to say, so wrapping up obviously originally I sort of said about obviously Halo Infinite this week, they
Yeah.
did obviously
Yeah.
announce that we've got a release window of fall 2021 now. So 343 have another year to truly master this game, so it launches as good as it can do.
In a way, I have so much respect for Halo for putting it off, knowing that it wasn't the standard that they wanted it to be. They
Yeah.
could have done like COD does all the time, as far as a game out there unfinished, and kind of like, oh, just play with it and we'll fix the bugs during it.
Yeah.
Like, I have utmost respect for them, is to say, like, we want to give you the best game that we can give you, so we're holding it back and we're sorry.
That's because, in my opinion, 343 are probably like, shit, if we don't get this perfect, we are losing this franchise. Because if they don't nail this game, I think Microsoft will pick someone else to make it. So I think they've got a lot riding on it. Whereas I'm surprised that
always does is they're going to overhype it, which is going to get the fans so, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. The graphics going to be amazing. This game's going to be amazing, and it's going to come out and it's going to be amazing. But it's been so overhyped that it's not going to live up to everybody's expectation. You know.
One of the developers let out like a statement the other day saying that he came to work for 343 like quite late into Halo Infinite's like creation. I think it was like a couple of months ago, and he says he's played the story twice. He says it's amazing. So if all of that's already finished, they've got a whole year just to work on bugs and
just
graphics.
To master it.
So surely this game is going to be like amazing when it comes out.
Yeah.
And
you can't expect a game to be released with no bugs and no imperfections, because some
I know.
You know.
You can. That's how they used to do it back in the day.
Yeah.
There was no hot fixing. When you released the game, it had to work.
Yeah.
It had to work.
True.
I mean, the good thing, obviously, if you have seen the screenshots that 343 showcased with the announcement of the release date, and all of the screenshots that they've shown in the article are in-game, in-engine screenshots. So, this is what this game looks like now. So
now
I think
it's going to look incredible.
Yeah.
It will be.
It's a year
but
of polishing.
I feel sorry. I feel sorry for Microsoft because the amount you notice now, like obviously the Xbox launch would have been even bigger if Halo came out. Like Master Chief's on the Series Xbox.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know about you, but no matter where I look, Master Chief and Halo is in some sort of advertisement. Like Master Chief's just dropped on Fortnite. And you've got to think all of this stuff was planned for the launch this year.
Yeah.
So
Halo 3 not supposed to be the last Halo, like back in the day. Was that not supposed to be like the end of Halo?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Halo 3 wrapped it up.
Halo 3 was supposed to be the end of Halo.
Like, I've been replaying the Halos. Like, I was replaying the Halos there for, I think it was about 2 months. I would play it like once a week. And they brought out crossplay and it's destroyed it.
When the Master Chief Collection first came out, I tried to replay them.
Sorry.
Go on, Dark. Carry on.
It was when the Master Chief Collection did come out, I did replay all the Halos, and I found that the older ones were really hard to redo.
Yeah.
I found the maps very hard to navigate.
Yeah, I thought that. There's just no, it's like, just go, find your way.
It doesn't really tell you where to go. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't remember it being this hard.
It just ages, and then eventually a dropship comes, and it's like, all right, that's the mission then.
Yeah.
But I tell you what I do appreciate about the Master Chief Collection is the toggle from when it first come out to like the new graphics.
Yeah, you could flick between the old and new graphics. Yeah.
When I first discovered that like blew my mind that you could do that because how bad that game looked back then.
Like you flick it back and it's like, no, that's not what it looked like the first time. You're lying.
It's like it's just not even texture. It's not even textures. It's just like color. It's just a color of like a rock. And it's like, how did they get away with it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And that was like the blockbuster title that launched the Xbox.
Exactly. And then there's people twisting about a cloud flickering in and out of Infinite's freaking gameplay. So, craziness.
It's mad, isn't it?
I do have high hopes for Infinite, though, and I do think it'll do well.
Yeah,
I don't think it can be it can't be a bad game. It can't be.
No.
Although, to be honest, by the time the new Halo comes out, like the next stock of Xboxes might actually be here for me to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people have
probably.
said that they've
Non-existent.
got a year now to obviously. Halo Infinite was obviously meant to be again like the blockbuster launch title, and obviously they've had to push it back. And a lot of people have said, thankfully, we've got a year now to get hold of a Series X before we have to get the game. So
yeah, because
it suits
was
a lot of people.
Infinite wasn't going to come out for the. Oh no, it would have been playable on Xbox One, wouldn't it?
Yes, I think
Playable,
it's.
and then it was then switched.
Yeah, I think it's coming out on Xbox One as well. I mean, people are saying now, with a delay of a year, is it worth just launching it purely for the Series X and S? Because by then,
it depends though on how many people. Well, it's going to Game Pass, so
yeah,
there's that alone. Like how many players have Game Pass and aren't going to upgrade within?
Yeah.
Because I know Sony come out and said that they expect the PS4 to have another 4 years of life.
Wow.
So they're going to let the PS4 so that's why they're saying the new Horizon and all that's going to still come to PS4.
Yeah.
Because there's like over what I can't remember what it was. It's like 100 million PS4s out in the world. So they were like, we expect within the next 4 years for everyone to move to PS5. So until then, we'll still bring them out on old gen. Whereas Xbox, doesn't matter what you have when you've got Game Pass, people will be playing it on the phone.
I think that's the thing. It's going to get to a point with this technology. I mean, obviously, it does with every console generation that, as Cyberpunk has kind of shown, the older consoles can't keep up forever. So there's going to get to a point where it's
already
like, exactly. We can't physically release you a game on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 because exactly like a game in PC, this game cannot be displayed properly on your Xbox One.
Yeah, and that's coming from a game that was developed for old gen as well.
Yeah.
So what went wrong there? Because that game, until release date, was made for PS4 and Xbox One. So what happened? It's craziness.
I feel like they might have with all the delays they had, they might have changed their focus and gone more for the X and S series
potentially. Yeah,
to get the most out of their graphics output.
Yeah, but you will see a lot. I reckon you'll see a lot of people getting the Series S. So you've got to give Xbox credit because what is it like
you know what? Yeah, the S series console it's a great bargain. Like, I mean, if you're
it is.
If you're not looking for, because it still runs on like, what is it? It's not like
1440p.
Yeah, the 1440. I mean, if you've got a decent gaming monitor or something like that, though, you're still going to get great graphic output from it. I mean, like the power difference is like between the systems is mainly just the graphics card boost. Like the power output, the SSDs, like they're almost identical.
Yeah.
The thing is,
I may have bought a Series S and he says it's good. Like, sorry, go, Kirsty. I'm done.
Oh, it's okay. Go. It's fine. I'll wait.
I'm done. That's all that is it.
Kirsty, go on.
I'm saying it's all good and well releasing games that are for the next gen console, but they haven't got enough next gen consoles to be sold. Like they're sold out as soon as they were released. Like I'm dying to get one because my Xbox One is legit about to die.
The good thing is most games are doing that smart thing. So you mean even if you get like one or the Xbox One version, it will smart upgrade to the next gen when you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Xbox are killing it like that. Like, to be fair.
But in a way, it's
don't do that, but most of them are.
Before everybody can get that next gen console. The new ones were released there for Christmas, and they were sold out straight away. That type of thing.
It's inevitable though.
Released in January.
It always happens. There's always a huge rush on the first batch, and most of the time, like the first batch is fucking faulty anyway.
Yeah, my mate's just had to send the Series S back. He's had to literally send it back.
Yeah,
because it keeps cutting out and knocking all of his devices off. So
did you see all the YouTubers and stuff that got like early access to PS5s for reviews, and the fucking things broke on them?
Yeah. But you'll see a lot more. Obviously, COVID didn't help. So because I heard there was Microsoft pulled when COVID first happened. Microsoft pulled all of their workload out of China and put it into America. So I think they managed to get a few more built.
Because all production had to stop. So the first release, they only had a certain amount, and apparently they oversold on that first release. So they're literally only starting again to make the console. So there's a shortage everywhere. So the release game just designed for the next gen isn't fair on everybody that can't get that next gen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a whole new batch on the way.
Yeah.
I want a
think
PC to play the
it's-
CNC remake.
You know, with the supply and demand, like, where's the comment gone now? Yeah, off Boffy. The lack of supply helps create the demand, where
Yeah.
there's that many people that still want it that they know for every, you know, they'll get to a point where they're producing consoles that are going to sit on shelves for weeks, months at a time. At this point, they know every single console that is being boxed up is going to sell, and it's going to do this now for the next 6 months, maybe even a year, before it gets to a point that, you know, there's just stock everywhere and you can go and pick it up from any shop that sells them. So, you know, you've got that element of, you know, the demand for a good year of just constant resales as soon as stock becomes available.
Another great thing that they've done as well was that payment plan.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
That's
what
what
was
I'm
it
in.
called?
I'm in that.
The
Xbox
that's
All
what
Access,
I'm
I'm doing that.
All Access,
I'm doing it through Klarna, so it's I paid £28 a month for the Series X and Ultimate. But when the pre-orders went live, it was just Xboxes. It wasn't Xbox All Access because there was like an issue. So I bought an Xbox through Argos, and then it was like the day after Smiths and Game were the two Xbox All Access in the UK.
Yeah.
They launched it, and I remember being at work. I pulled over and I got through on Smiths, and I managed to get one. But I remember that was like high demand. But for what you get, £28 a month for the Series X and Ultimate for 2 years.
I was trying to look into that, but they were saying, I think it was at the time I was looking at it, they were only letting you do it if you were an existing All Access member. You couldn't like sign up to be a new member. You had to already be one.
Yeah. So that was what they did. Yeah, they did that. So I tried to get through, and Smith sent us a private link to go through and do it because they were like, "Oh, you have to put your Xbox ID in, like your code serial number."
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't right because they let us buy it and then they asked for that. So they were like, "Oh, sorry, you can start from new." So they give us like a private link, and I managed to get one. So I was lucky. I didn't lose it.
For all those parents that have kids going, "I want the new Xbox. I want this." For them is to be able to afford it because, you know, when I was younger, my mum couldn't afford to go out and get me the brand new console. You know, I think it's
the consoles these days. Like, I mean, consoles nowadays are starting to cost like what you would expect for mid-range PCs. You know, like they need some sort of plan like that. You know, it's not like when consoles came out brand new and they were like a couple of £100. Like you're now talking 500 for a brand new.
But to be fair, for what they are, you've got to like the PS3 was £500 on launch day, which is absolutely ridiculous, and that's the PS3.
Yeah.
But I know Xbox are in plans of making a like Amazon Fire Stick.
Yes.
I mean, my Xbox One X last year cost me £400.
Yeah. See, I bought the One X.
And now you can buy a fucking Series S for £250, which is more fucking powerful than the One X.
Crazy. but as I say, Xbox are making these stream sticks, and it's going to get to the point where you're going to have Xbox just on a telly when it comes anyway, or like as an app. So all it's going to cost is Game Pass.
With the cloud gaming, isn't it? Yeah.
So
Phil Spencer cloud game straight to your TV.
Yeah, Phil Spencer's come out and said that they are making a streaming stick for Xbox. So I would say, 2 years down the line, people aren't going to even have to buy consoles anymore. Like families that can't afford them and stuff. Which hats off to Xbox for doing that. Like,
buy yourself an Xbox remote and a little fucking bar, and you can stream cloud.
Like imagine having that as a kid, Game Pass, just being able to play all
instead of buying a console for £500, £8 a month or whatever it is, and you get your Game Pass, or £11 your Game Pass and your Xbox Live, and you've got 100 games to play on the cloud.
I used to lend £5 every Friday off like a different family member and go to Blockbuster and rent a game for 7 days and come back and play it for 7 days and then take it back and get the next one.
It used to be a nightmare if it was a long game, though. It'd be like, fuck, I'm never going to complete this in a week.
Oh, yeah. They used to let us have I remember they used to let us have 18s and everything, and I was only like in school, and it was when that closed down, it was a sad day. I was devastated.
I remember renting video games as well. Like you go to Blockbuster or something like that, and you just be like, "Oh, they've got games in here. Let's get this."
Yeah, and Blockbuster always had new releases as well. which I thought was like amazing. Like it was like day one. I used to go. I remember the first ever midnight launch I went to was Modern Warfare 2, and it was a blockbuster. And I was in year 9 at school, and it was like full of people in like my little town. And I was like, this is amazing.
I mean, almost every game I own now is digital. I haven't actually bought a disc in.
I don't know. I don't
I say I'm still a disc
game anymore.
I'm still a disc guy. Like I still buy all the discs.
I like to just browse the store and download something instantly instead of having to wait for that shit to turn up, because I don't have a game store close by that actually said like I have to like leave town for that shit. So I'm all digital.
Yeah, I should really. Mine's like 15 minutes away, and quick resume on the new Xbox would come in handy for that.
Yeah.
But does that work really well? Does it?
It does on some games.
I
had an issue with Assassin's Creed, but it's been fixed. So now, if I turn my Xbox is off now, if I turned it on and clicked Cyberpunk, I'd be like in within like I would say 4 or 5 seconds max.
Yeah.
Like straight in.
Which is real though. Like, see in my house, like I have an Xbox and like my partner has an Xbox. So see when we buy it digital, it means we're not having to buy 2 copies. You know, we can both play that same game just because we bought it digital. Do you know, it's so much easier that way, I think.
It's good as well for game sharing and stuff. Yeah, if you're game sharing with somebody or something like that, the fact that they added something like that for you to just like have access to
save a lot of money.
Somebody else's games library.
Right, so I think we're fast approaching the end. Just a couple of little questions for you guys, one by one. First one: if there was only one game that you could completely erase from your memory and play again for the very, very first time, what would it be? Starting with you, Kirsty.
See, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, right? But I love this game. Okay? I cried when I played the campaign to this game. Call of Duty Ghosts.
Wow.
That's a controversial answer.
Guys, I think it's safe to say Kirsty will not be on a future episode.
I've just hold on. I'm just going to close this GoFundMe for the next Call of Duty.
She's not getting another one now. Forget that.
Yeah.
Dr. Smoke Reaper. Ghost was not good.
Ghost was put me off the series.
Out of all games, you would choose to replay that from scratch with your mind erased.
Yeah, absolutely love that game. That game actually made me fall in love with Call of Duty.
Wow. I suppose for you, it was the only way was up. Dark, what would be your one game?
Probably Final Fantasy VII.
Ah, interesting. Any particular reason?
I've replayed it quite a few times with all the remasters and stuff. The only one I haven't played is the proper remake because it's currently only available on PlayStation.
Yeah,
which is meant to be amazing, by the way. I'm not a big fan.
Amazing, yeah.
It was up for a few awards, weren't it, the other night?
Yeah, game of the year. Was it up for game of the year?
The original Final Fantasy VII is probably one of the best games in the series. It's one that got most people into the series, I think, and it would be really good fun to just kind of have to go through it all from the very not knowing what's happening.
Yeah,
I've never been a fan of the Final Fantasy games.
I
to be fair,
I've got one of my long time, the group I play with on the Xbox. We've gamed together now for 14 years since Modern Warfare, the original. And one of the guys, Gally, he has played Final Fantasy VII obviously from a kid, and for him that's his number one game, I think, still, that he always goes on about. So it's obviously I've never played.
I grew up with the kind of the fantasy RPGs, like a lot, even on the SNES, like your Zeldas and stuff, and some of the older RPGs. But
and finally, Lee, what would yours be?
If I had to choose, I would have to choose San Andreas, because I remember San Andreas was like when I first ever got my PlayStation 2. I remember me and my friend were sitting there as kids, and fair enough, I know it was an 18, but it was just that was the best game I'd ever played. Still to this day, it's one of my favourite games.
Yeah, it's one of the best GTAs they've ever done. Yeah,
the in-depth, going to the gym and putting weight on and tattoos in your hair and everything. Yeah,
you could go and eat loads of junk food and just be fat, or you could work out at the gym and work on your muscles and shit.
And yet,
that's the only game I want from now is GTA 6. Like
Yeah.
everywhere I see, like everywhere I look, I need this game, because especially after the rumors of hearing it's going to be Vice City themed again, like Miami in the 80s,
What?
which please give me that,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Because
Is it
The
actually?
sort of vibe's been around for far
that's
too
it's
long
the
now.
rumors. It's the rumors. You can't. It's hard to believe anything because Rockstar is such a. Nothing ever leaks from Rockstar. It's so like. Just everything's behind closed doors until the release comes out. But I'll never
I think
forgive
Vice City was
PlayStation.
the best GTA though. I don't think Vice City was better than San Andreas.
I'd say I'd loved Vice City. I've loved every Grand Theft Auto, every single one of them. I even loved 4, and I know some people didn't like it, but I really enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 4. But as for GTA 6, I'll never forgive PlayStation for opening up their Summer Games event with Rockstar Games for it to be GTA on next-gen consoles. I was absolutely livid at that. I really thought we were getting it. I thought we were getting GTA 6 announcement.
I just think, I mean, there was an article that I read, I think it was yesterday or today, about the fact that fans are now saying to Rockstar, take your time, because Cyberpunk is a perfect example of, long-term development that has been delayed, that has still come out bad. And so they're saying, with Rockstar, even if it takes another 2 or 3 years, take your time and release, the best game possible.
I think we're that far away.
Hurry up.
I still think we're that far away because you had Red Dead come out 2 years ago. GTA was 2013 now, GTA 5, and they're still bringing out content. There's like a massive DLC dropping like in a couple of days.
Yeah.
For like a whole new section of the map.
Yeah,
new island. So unless they're still just doing this to keep it all the way up until GTA 6 comes out, I don't see it coming anytime soon. But no. I can't wait for that game because Red Dead 2 still.
Halo are very similar in that aspect. They'll wait until that game is perfect before they'll even announce it.
But it will be though. It will be though. I don't think Rockstar can knock up a game like it just. I don't know. They do have massive life cycles like in between games. Like Red Dead 2 came out 8 years after the first one and stuff like that, and
they take their time, don't they?
They do take the time, but you're always get an amazing game. Like I know people have the things to say about Red Dead 2 being a bit boring, but the amount of detail in that game is like
phenomenal.
The
story mode was great. Like the Red Dead story was phenomenal. I thought the online was a bit shit. I mean, I haven't played it since it kind of first came out, but I think the online initial launch was a bit shaky. But the actual story mode of the game is amazing. The story's great.
Yeah,
it is the whole world and everything. But I know they're releasing the online as its own game in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So Red Dead 2 is getting like its own online just game for people to play.
And then obviously we're going to wrap it up in a minute. Just one final question for you all again. Obviously all three of you are Twitch streamers, content creators. What do you guys see in your plans for 2021? We'll start with Lee.
Well, at the minute, it's just work until I can get a minute. I looked at me Twitch monthly thing yesterday, and I'd streamed once in like 36 days, and I was like, right, this isn't good enough. This is not good enough. Like I was streaming like every day for like 3 months straight.
Yeah.
So my goals for 2021 is to stream more often. It's just hard with my work because I get me shift the day before, and it could be any time. I could be on a night. Like, so it's really hard to make a schedule.
Yeah.
But so for 2021, I'm hoping to be able to stream a lot more.
Okay.
And try and get like building the game.
Yeah. Dark.
Very similar, yeah. Just like try and get some more streams in. I was like doing a lot more, and then I kind of drifted off and stopped for a while. Trying again, like just work. Just it's like scheduled stuff, so it's never the same time of day. It's not like a standard 9 to 5, so it's hard to actually nail down the schedule and stick to it. So, but I've got a lot of holidays, obviously, like I said, over this next couple of weeks and that. So I'm going to try and start building to a schedule and maybe try and sort something out over that time, even if it doesn't. And then when I go back to work, it might have to change again. But definitely need to try and get some more streaming in, get some more hours going.
Yeah, definitely. And then finally, Kirsty.
I have a list, you know, but the list is awfully long. So it's kind of like I just really want to, you know, grow the family that I've started. I want to get better at streaming. I want to, you know, grow the confidence for streaming, you know, that type of stuff. I just want to be more entertaining for everybody that watches me. You know, it's
Yeah.
more personal growth I'm looking on rather than stream growth, because everything I've done so far and everybody I've met, I don't want to change that. You know, there's nothing that I have done that I would want to change except for me, you know, that type of thing. So it's really just personal growth.
Develop
and
as you
for the
sort
stream.
of go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So
I needed one question. What would you choose for your game? I need to know yours. What you would
for
rate?
me, the game that I'd redo from the beginning would be Halo 3.
Halo 3.
Yeah, it was the one that I went to the midnight launch for. The whole launch of it. I remember standing
Halo
in.
3.
I went into like the shopping arena, and Halo's music was blasting down the hall as we sort of walked up to the shop. We stood in the shop, and you know, got an early glimpse at it on the screens in the store.
Yeah.
Went to school the next day, and you know, it's 6 hours of hell waiting to get home to play the game.
Running home
exactly.
from school.
And from that onwards, it was just a thing of, you know, it's along with Modern Warfare, it's the game that got me into multiplayer the biggest.
Yeah.
Easily 2,000 plus games online. You know, I loved Halo 3. And
Halo
it was just
3 is, I think, up there with the best Halo.
Yeah, it was just
Halo
and
3
the
multiplayer
campaign
was wicked.
was great.
And the campaign was great.
It was just a fantastic way that Bungie originally obviously wrapped up the first trilogy, and yeah, I'd love to go back and do that again.
I'm going to play them, and I'm blind, so I get to experience
you've got some
your
great
wish.
experiences coming
I get to experience your wish.
Yeah. In terms of content creation for me, you know, I've sort of said I plan to sort of step away. I want to still do streaming, but I think I'd like to sort of maybe focus on doing a bit more over YouTube, see how that goes. Maybe try streaming on YouTube. Obviously, that's automatic content for your channel, as well as obviously producing videos. So get a bit more experimenting with that side of things, I think, and then obviously keep Twitch going as I am, sort of popping into everybody's and
keep this podcast going.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's my plan. So yeah, thank you to all three of you for coming on tonight. I appreciate all three of you. It's been great.
It's been
everybody
fun.
in the chat that's been active tonight, thank you all for stopping by. Thank you for getting involved. So thank you to Kirsty. Thank you to Dark. Thank you to Lee. And thank you to all of you for tuning in. And we will see you hopefully next Saturday, 8 PM, with another round of guests for another episode of Live on Deck with the Mutiny Crew. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.